If you're 18 to 35 years old and you genuinely want to make money and you have a good work ethic, watch this entire video. All right, so this was my bank account 8 months ago today, and then here's my most recent bank statement. So that amount there is amount added. I have all my personal info blurred out, but you can see their amount added is $13,000. Now, I'm not saying this to flex, I'm saying this to kind of tell you guys what's possible. Before life insurance sales, I really had no idea what the fuck I was doing with my life. I pretty much was working a normal job. I was making like 2.5 a month at this place called Singer. I love cars, so I didn't mind it, but I knew I was like meant for something greater. So I got into life insurance sales actually through this girl I knew from high school. She reached out to me saying her brother sells life insurance. I was super skeptical. I was like, what the scam is this? I'm not going to commit to doing this. I'm not going to quit my job and try this thing that someone's just really wanting me to do. Before that, I was trying everything out there. I had a few drop shipping stores that I had tried setting up. I tried to build myself a clothing brand. I tried appointment setting. I got scammed appointment setting. I worked for like 2 months, didn't end up making any money. The guy just kept telling me he was going to pay me, never ended up actually paying me, which was unfortunate, but you live and you learn. So after those kind of few experiences getting fucked over, I ended up just deciding to try this. I was like, all right, might as well try this. It might not work, but I'm going to put my all into it and see if it works. So I was working my normal job at Singer, making 2.5 a month, and then during that I was getting licensed. I was actually paying for all my own licensing and whatnot. That's why you can see I was in minus $160 in my bank account. It was a scary time. I was negative. I had to like ask a few of my friends, my mom to send me a little bit of money. That way I could just go above that so I wasn't getting penalties for the overdraft, but that was unfortunate. And it was the best decision I ever made in my entire life. And there's no universe where I would go back and change that decision because it led me to where I am now. If I didn't do that, I'd probably still be in the same place. I'd probably still be enrolled in this community college behind me, and that would be unfortunate. I've actually changed my life over the past 8 months, and it's been the most influential thing that's ever happened in my entire life. So yeah, I was just working my normal job. I was working like 8-10 hour shifts. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drive an hour to work, and kind of just do busy work there, and then drive home, and then I'd get home at around like 2-3 p.m., and then I'd dial all the way until close, which is 8 p.m. PST. So I'd get like 5 hours in, and I would make sales during that 5 hours, and I'd literally fall asleep at the end of it with my computer on my lap at 8 p.m. As soon as the dialer closed, I was just falling asleep right away because I was working like 15-16 hour days in total. Now, I didn't like that. I also didn't know that this was real. I was doing all these calls and whatnot, thinking I was making money, but realistically I had no idea if I was going to get paid or not, because with life insurance you get paid in advance, and you get paid when the start date happens. So you don't get paid as soon as you actually like submit the sale. The person has to actually pay for the policy, and most people start them on like the 1st or the 3rd of the month, so you have to wait till then. And I hadn't gotten like my first 1st or 3rd of the month coming up yet. So as soon as that did come up, I got my deposit, and it was $3.2 thousand in 1 month. Now that's not a lot, but to most people it genuinely is. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I just made $3.2 thousand in a month. That was more than I was making at my normal job. I was making 2.5 a month at Singer, and I was like, all right, this is it. Like, I see this opportunity in front of me. So I quit my job. I decided to go all in. As soon as I literally got the deposit in my bank account, I was like, all right, this is it. Like, I'm committing. So I went all in. I quit my job on the spot. I didn't even like send in my 2 weeks, which probably wasn't like the best thing, but it was worth it in the end. It's probably the best decision I ever made, as well as going into debt to get my license and quitting my job on the spot as soon as I got that deposit are probably some of the 2 best decisions I've made so far in my life. Now, the reason I got into this is purely because it's kind of a work ethic industry. Most industries like drop shipping, whatever, like all these other niches like trading and whatnot, they're not really work ethic based. I mean, I'm sure they are. You can make a lot of money in all those industries, but when it comes to sales, it's purely work ethic based. All you have to do is sit on the phones for literally 8 hours a day, and you will make money. Even if you're bad, you're going to get the laydowns, and then the longer you stay on the phones, the better you get. You're not just going to stay bad forever. That's not really how this works. If you have the commitment and the time, then it's definitely something that it's gonna work for you, as long as you try hard enough and put the genuine work in. I literally didn't leave my room for days at a time. I was sitting in my room, I'd wake up, I checked my health app, and it literally said I had like 40, or maybe not 40, but like 150 steps in the day, because I would get up, I'd go to the bathroom, I'd brush my teeth, I'd go back to my room, I'd work, and then I'd get up to go pee like 3 times, and that's all I would do, and then I'd fall asleep in my bed working. And that's kind of what the average day looked like. I lost like 15 pounds during that time because I wasn't going to the gym anymore. As soon as I started selling life insurance, I kind of stopped going to the gym, which I should have done. I could have made the time for it, but I was just so locked in. I saw the opportunity in front of me that I put my entire life on hold and just decided to fully commit to this, and it worked. It genuinely worked. Before this, I really thought that it wasn't coded into my life. I was doing I traded for a little bit, no success in that, in my opinion, or in my experience. It didn't work, and I was putting time into that. But as soon as I saw this in front of me, it was literally just an hours game. If you just sit on the phone for hours, you will make money no matter what your skill level is. Obviously, if you have some accent or something that's kind of preventing you, then that might affect it, but other than that, it's all work ethic. Through this process, I've been posting on social media a lot and whatnot. I've actually built a team myself of people that sell life insurance as well. I put my 3 roommates on after I had made around $10,000 or $15,000. I told my friends about it. Before that, I hadn't told anyone. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell anyone I knew, besides the people I was working with, obviously, that I was doing this. And eventually, once I had the proof of concept and I had that money in my account, I showed my friends. I was like, look what I'm doing. They had been entrepreneurial as well, so I knew they would take action when I told them this information. And I told them, and then they were like, all right, I see this, it's in front of me. The money is in front of me. So they went and they got licensed as well. Now my 3 roommates are also doing this, and they're starting to grow their own teams also, which is great. That's kind of what you want to do when it comes to life insurance. You sell for a while, or you sell for forever. I still dial myself. There's no point not dialing. Dialing's the best way to make money out there, and then eventually you teach people how to do the same, and then you make overrides on them and residuals as well. So that's kind of how the life insurance industry works. Obviously, this video here isn't about like the technicalities of life insurance. It's more just kind of my story, how I got into this and where I am now. A crazy thing, actually today, I got my statement back. I had my biggest week ever. I made $8,000 last week, which is insane. I literally was making half of that or not even half. I was making a quarter of that per month at Singer, and I did it in 1 week. So it's really crazy to think about in perspective. That's a lot of money. I know a lot of people will say it's not, a lot of people say it is, but that's the most amount of money I've ever made in a single month, and it feels crazy. It doesn't feel real. It hasn't hit my account yet, but I saw the statement and I know it will. So I'm looking forward to that, obviously. I've actually helped over 25 people do the exact same thing. Not everyone makes 10K or 10K their first or second month. It takes a little bit. You got to get good at this. Not everyone just spawns in as a killer salesman. But I know people that have struggled for the first 2 to 3 months, and then after that point, boom, now they're killing it. So for me, that first month, like I said, I did $3.2 thousand profit. That very next month, I did $11,000 profit, which is, it's a lot of money for your second month. I've had guys do it in their first month, but in your second month, still, that's even a lot. I've had, I think, 1 or 2 guys do 10,000 profit their first month, which is insane. Some people, you just commit, you go all in. I have a guy, he had a job before this, he had a wife and a kid, and he just quit his job, went all in, put everything on the line before even making a dial. And then as soon as he got on the phones, he worked 8-10 hours a day. He did 11,000 his first month. Like I did it my second month, he did it his first month in the game with no prior sales experience, which is insane. There's really no other industry that you can do that besides like getting lucky on a meme coin or something. Obviously you can in dropshipping, day trading. I'm not hating on those, but this is a purely work ethic based thing. Anyone can do this if you have half a brain and you have a good work ethic. The issue is that most people don't even have the work ethic. The blueprint's in front of them on how to do it, but they actually just can't put the work in, sit down and get on the phones, because it's almost too easy. It's on your computer, it's a speed dialer. All you got to do is sit on it, and then you will make money. If you're 18 to 30 years old and you genuinely want to make 10K a month and this video resonated with you, book a one-on-one call with me below, and then we'll see if you'd be a good fit.